Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to Salty Candy's podcast. If you're new here, thank you for being here. And if you've been riding these miles with me for a while, thank you for coming back. Because this podcast isn't just about trucking, it's about the miles we travel while healing. Today I want to talk about something very personal. I want to talk about what nobody sees. The moments when life forces you to get back up, even though you're still broken inside.
Real stories, raw feelings, and miles of truth. This is Salty Candy, and you're riding with me.
2.5 months ago, I climbed back into my truck after being off the road for 4.5 months. Those weren't 4.5 months of vacation. They were 4.5 months filled with pain. First, I lost my Dominican mom, a woman who wasn't related to me by blood, but who loved me like I was her own daughter. Then came my emergency surgery. My body was trying to heal, while my heart was grieving at the same time. Then one day, it was time to go back to work. Not because I felt ready, but because life doesn't stop. Rent don't stop. Car payment don't wait. Insurance doesn't wait. Bills don't care if you're hurting. Life keeps moving. And somehow, so did I. I remember climbing into my truck the first morning. I was wearing a tight abdominal binder because my stomach was still healing. Honestly, I was terrified. I kept thinking, what if I hurt myself? What if my body isn't ready? But I also knew something else. If I let fear make my decision, I'll never move forward. So I took a deep breath, started the engine, and pulled out onto the highway. I'm not gonna lie, the first 3 days were brutal. Every bump in the road felt like someone was stabbing me in my stomach. Every rough stretch of highway made me grab my abdomen with one hand while I held the steering wheel with the other. I would press against my binder as hard as I could, trying to absorb the pain, the impact. There were moments I wanted to cry. Moments I asked myself, what am I doing? But I kept driving because I realized something. Being strong doesn't mean you don't feel pain. Being strong means you keep moving even when everything hurts. During those 4.5 months, I learned one of the hardest lessons of my life. When life stops, you find out who really stays. When you're no longer able to do everything for everyone else, you discover who's willing to do something for you. And honestly, the people who truly stood by me, I can count with one hand. At first, that hurts. But today, I'm actually grateful because it gave me clarity. I stopped expecting loyalty from people who were never meant to stay. And I understood something that changed my life. The one person who absolutely cannot give up on me, it's me. I have to fight for myself. I have to get up for myself. I have to build the future I want because no one else is going to do it for me. And today, I've been back on the road for 2.5 months, working non-stop, sleeping very little, eating whenever I get a chance, sleeping in airports, on buses, on airplanes, living out of a suitcase, doing whatever it takes. Some days I'm exhausted. Some nights I wonder how much longer I can keep going. But then I look at my bills getting paid. I see myself catching up. I feel something I haven't felt in a very long time. Peace. But not because life became easier, but because I earned that peace. And while I'm driving thousands of miles across this country, I'm also building my future. Because I finally realized something. If I don't prepare for my retirement, nobody else will. Financial independence is also an act of self-love. And over the past few weeks, our hearts have been broken watching the devastating earthquake that affected my country, Venezuela. Thanks God my family, my immediate family, is safe. But I know people who weren't as fortunate. And there was one sentence I read that I haven't been able to forget. And he said, underneath the rubble, entire families were found holding each other. I sat there, just thinking about those words. Families spending their final moments holding each other tightly. And then I asked myself, why do so many of us wait? Why do we let pride keep us apart? Why do we stop speaking over things that years later don't even matter anymore? Sometimes the biggest earthquake doesn't happen beneath of our feet. It happens inside of our hearts, in our pride, in our ego, in the phone calls we never make, in the apology we never give, in the hug we keep postponing. The truth is, tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. So if this episode reaches your heart today, I want to ask you something. Is there someone you need to call? Someone you need to forgive? Someone you need to tell, I love you? Don't wait until life forces you to realize what truly matters. One thing I know for sure today, that is getting back on the road is scary. Healing is scary. Starting over is scary. But staying stuck because of fear is even scarier. Maybe your road feels full of bumps right now. Maybe every mile hurts. Maybe you're carrying pain nobody else can see. But I promise you, the road doesn't stay rough forever. Keep driving. Keep believing. Keep healing, 1 mile at a time. Thank you for spending these miles with me. Thank you for allowing me to share my heart. Love your people. Forgive more. Hug tighter. And never wait for tragedy to remind you how precious life really is. My name is Salty Candy, and these are my miles to heal.